Hey guys, welcome back to the Financial Minute. My name's Josh. As always, so glad you joined me. Today, as you can see, it's a little bit of a different background. I'm on a walk. I'm trying to start a new goal to get some exercise every morning, go for a walk. So let me know what you think down in the description below. And today we're going to be talking about getting out of debt. Some of the steps to get out of debt, how I did it, how you can do it, how anybody can do it. And it really does start with setting goals. But before we go any further, I'll stop. Remember, please guys, hit that like button and subscribe. And you know the subscribe button isn't enough anymore. Thanks to YouTube's algorithm, you now got to hit that notification bell. This way you know the second I make new content. Today we're talking about how you can get out of debt forever. Stay out of debt. And we'll get right to it right after this. Okay guys, so step number one, getting out of debt. You're in debt. We've all been there. And the credit card companies are still sending you offers. They want you to get further into debt. What's step number one? Step number one is realizing you're in debt and realizing that you need to do something about it. That's really step number one. And you've already probably accomplished step number one if you're watching this video. So step number one, realize you have an issue about debt. You gotta realize that. Step number two, well, now it's time to start planning. That includes writing down some steps that you're going to take to get out of debt. You can live without shopping online. And when you're first trying to get out of debt, I recommend you try doing it. You know, buy as much as you can without buying it online, because it's almost more work to buy it when it's not online. Therefore, you're going to spend less money. Okay, so another thing you got to do, you got to put together a budget. Figure out your budget. I know everybody harps on the budget, and I'm just going to reiterate that. Sit down with your family. You got to do this as a team. So if it's just you, then it would be just you. But you could even get some of your best friends involved. Say, hey, I'm trying to start a get out of debt plan. Because your best friends are going to encourage you to spend the money. You know, and they won't do it intentionally, but, you know, they're going to be like calling you up, say, hey, let's go out and do this. And they have to know, and they have to be kind of on board with this plan of yours to get out of debt. So make sure, you know, the closest people in your life, whoever they are on board with this new plan to get out of debt. And there's fun things you can do that don't cost money. You're going to have to start researching those and figuring out what you like to do that's affordable or cheap or free, preferably. But yeah, so I guess there's two steps there. Get all the people closest in your life on board with your debt removal process. Therefore, they can assist and not prevent you from getting out of debt. Budgets are so important. And make it a detailed budget, including all the ins and outs of your life. You know, if you spend $5 a month on Hulu with the commercials, which seems like a ripoff to me, but anyways, if you spend that, make sure it's in the budget. Maybe that could get cut out of the budget. It's not something necessary. Or maybe you could switch from, I don't know, $12 a month Netflix to $5.99 a month Hulu. Save yourself $6 per month. Maybe you cut them both. But go through your budget, find the waste, and start removing it. And stick to your budget, guys. Don't go off the budget. If you have to, and my wife likes this, put together a budget and then use a cash-only budget for the first few months so you can actually see the money leave your envelope as she does it. She has an envelope system. Do that at least for a month or two when you're first starting out. It's a good way to just get into the habit of how much money you have to spend and when it's gone, it's gone. There's no like, oh, I'll just throw it on the credit card, because you're not going to use the credit card until you're used to your budget. Next, just learn to live more frugally. Use your fuel points on your credit cards when you do start using them again. Make sure you're using your fuel points, maxing out your grocery points. Make sure you're not necessarily buying a $7 latte every morning. Make your own. Or maybe you don't need to drink one every morning. Maybe it can be once a week, and the rest of the week you can make yourself a cheap cup of coffee. Do you really need a 72-inch TV next month because your 60-inch TV just isn't cutting it? No. If you got a raise at work, do you have to spend that raise? You were living without that raise. Maybe you can put that raise into a high-interest savings account. Make sure, guys, now that you've got your budget put together, make sure you include saving for an emergency fund if you don't already have one. Should be about, I'd say, 2 months. Some people would say up to 5 months of your income. But start out with at least a month and work your way up to 5, 10, 12 months worth of income saved in a high interest savings account that's there in case you need it. So important. But that's after you get out of debt. And once you got your high interest savings account, maxed out with your 10 months worth of income saved, make sure you're putting money aside every month towards your retirement. You set up a Roth IRA, and you funded it with some index funds. So I rambled a little bit, so I'm gonna go over that again. First, decide you need to get out of debt. Realizing that you have an issue is the first step. Second step, put together a list, or shall we say a budget, of all of your expenses. Third, weed through that list and make sure you're getting rid of all the stuff you don't need. And then stick to that budget. That's key. You can make a budget, but if you don't stick to it, it's kind of pointless. If you have to, use a cash envelope system to help you stick to that budget for the first few months. Step number 4, start a emergency fund if you don't already have one, and make sure you fund it with at least 2, but up to 5 to 10 months of your income. Step number 5, start a Roth IRA savings account, or if you have a 401k, fund it. Make sure you're funding it, especially if you get a match from your employer. And if you get a bonus or a raise, make sure this is the percentage of this money. I like to say half of this money goes right to your either your emergency account if you're working on that, or your long-term savings. And then the other half gets split. You give away a percentage of it to charity, and then you get to keep a percentage for yourself. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope this helps you a little bit if you're trying to get out of debt. It's so important to get out of debt, so I hope you can. I hope you stick to these concepts. If you stick to these concepts, you will get out of debt. If you follow that budget. And sometimes, you know what, we just need to make more money too. So if your budget just isn't cutting it, if you're making less than what works in your area, and that's going to vary depending on where you live. But if you're making less money than works for a basic budget, then maybe you need to start educating yourself. Go out there and teach yourself a new skill. Go out there and pick up a side hustle, which would be my next step. Pick up a side hustle. This will help you get out of debt really quick. And it'll also teach you a new skill. Hone in a new skill and make it something you enjoy doing. Whether it be, photography, or maybe you like video editing, maybe you like working online, maybe you like giving tours on the weekends. Pick up a side hustle. That'll help you get out of debt even quicker. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know I've rambled a little bit today. This is something new for me. I'm trying to get out and do some walking in the morning, so I thought I would kill two birds with one stone, get some exercise, plus make a video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. And remember, only you can make your financial dreams come true. Don't delay. Get started today. Be safe. God bless. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye. Remember, I scratch my nose here. Why did it always happen? Anyways, notification button, or should I say the subs? Let's try that again. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, please, guys, hit that. Let's try that again. This way, you know the second I make new content. Stay out of debt. But let's get right to it. Okay, try it again. And we'll get right to it right after this. And we'll get right to it, putting together a plan. Putting together a plan. That includes writing. You gotta be in this on a team. Let me try that again. Get all your. Try that again. Get all. Okay, that last one. Closest. Your latest endeavor to get out of debt, or your latest. Hopefully, this is a multiple tryout. Get all the people. Sit. Three or four. Step number 3. Or I keep saying. Step number 5.